It is my great pleasure to introduce to you Nebraska football coach Mike Riley.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Chancellor Perlman, for the opportunity to be here. We are grateful for that. Dee and I have been around the block a little bit, but not for a while, so this is it's exciting. We are excited to be here. I'm excited to coach this football team. We're excited to be in Lincoln, be part of the university, and to be a part of what is known as the greatest fan base in college football. Pretty special stuff, and very excited about that. Appreciate just the fact that I'm standing here right now, and very thankful for that. I like coaching football, and I've coached now for 40 years. As I've gotten more experienced instead of older, I have really enjoyed what is so important, I think, to the university is the growth of young men in all ways. I think that there are lots of choices that are made out there, and as you know, we spend all of our time as parents teaching our children to make good choices. That's what we get to do at the university level with the students and student athletes here, is continue to help them make good choices to grow. And that growth, you know, when I'm talking about that, people usually go right into football, and we certainly want that, but it's talking about all the areas of what we try to do at the university. You know, it's football, it's school, and ultimately it's life, and what a great time to be involved with these young men at the age they're at. So I really am thankful for being a part of their lives at this age. And for me personally, I never even knew what else there was to do but be a football coach. I grew up on the bus when my dad was a high school coach in northern Idaho. Was always in the locker room. My dad was a high school history teacher and football coach, baseball coach, basketball coach, and that's what I was going to be. And I went to college and got my history degree, and I've never taught history, but that's always what I thought was going to be. My occupation was that. I have to say here that I'm very thankful to all the folks that I got to work with at Oregon State. Every place that you get to go to in your life, you bring something from, and I got a lot more from Oregon State than they got from me. It was a great place. I appreciate that opportunity. They gave it to me twice. I was there 2 different times. And Sean's right. We were, you know, I think that these people and this place, it just, for me, to make this move, it seemed like the right time. However you get to that point, you know, when hearing upon the interest, when talking to him, when talking to the Chancellor, when you put that all together, it just felt like this might be that right time. So I'm thankful for that interest, and mine is the same. We are in this together to build young men and win championships, and they don't have to be exclusive of one another. We're going to do it right, and we're going to work hard. One of the basic ingredients to success is hard work, and that always feels good when you can accomplish something after doing that in whatever you're trying to do. So thank you all for being here. Thank you once again for this great opportunity. I'm going to be hiring a staff. I've had a great group of people. I always look at this thing as I've got all these guys, and it's my job to make sure I put experts and good people around them. So we're going to look, and I've had really good people do really good work with me for a while, and I like that stability. I know who they are, trust them, and with that, we're also going to look at other areas for other additions to this staff. It's a big part of what's going to happen in the next few years is putting this group together, football-wise and people-wise, and making sure it's the right fit for what we do in the football end of it, but also what we need in the university end of it. So that's pretty exciting stuff. I won't be coaching in the bowl game. I'll have fun being a fan for that game. That'll be different, but that will be fun. We will obviously begin, and it really is begin the recruiting process for our new staff, and not have a long time ahead of us to do it. So, like, we'll probably start this afternoon with some stuff. That's how fast this thing will go. And so those things are like the first things coming up: staffing, recruiting, and then where we go from there, heading toward really great part of the year, which is spring practice later on. Okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Should I open it up?
Questions now?
Yeah.
We'll open up questions. We have microphones here.
Coach Riley, welcome to Nebraska.
Thank you.
At the age of 61, you could have retired at Oregon State, yet you decide to come to Nebraska. Tell me what was behind your decision.
Yeah, you know, I've never, Dee and I have never talked about that retirement word. So it didn't really enter into anything more than opportunity and maybe the right place at the right time. That's probably it. You know, I think if I summarized it, that would be it. I really always thought I was probably that was going to be my last job. And it's the place, but it's also the people, and the people probably key making a decision like that, with the folks that I met with and the knowledge that I've had about Sean.
Coach Riley, what was your knowledge of Nebraska football before you took this job, and how closely had you followed the program here over your coaching career?
Well, my knowledge of football about Nebraska probably just goes back as to what everybody knows is Nebraska football nationally. That was me, except I was a freshman on that team that Johnny Rodgers ran all over in the Orange Bowl against Alabama. And so I'm deeply respectful of history and tradition in our world of college sports, and Nebraska has it. So as a kid who's a kind of a football junkie growing up, it was easy to know about Nebraska in that way. I have great admiration for the history of coaching that's gone on here. Coach Osborne, I've always kept one of his books in my bookshelf that I will draw quotes from as I go down for the team meeting of the day. A great example for coaches is Coach Osborne, and obviously a great track record of success on the field. I've got great, I didn't mention this and I need to, I've got great respect for the work that Bo did here. I understand this profession, know how it goes, grew up in it. My dad later became a professional coach, so I've seen all the different parts. I know there are hard parts. I know it's hard for the players right now with the uncertainty of who's this next guy and what's going to go on here. But I respect what Bo has done and the work that they've put into the University of Nebraska football program. And like I said, just in general, the great football history here is pretty special. You can't buy tradition. You can't buy history like this. And so for me, it's unique. It's unique, and it's great to be a part of.
Good morning, Mike. Talk a little bit about the differences between Nebraska and Oregon State in terms of resources. I know you haven't been here long, But talk a little bit about that, and furthermore, when the job was on your radar, and how quickly this process moved for you.
Well, this was a quick process, and you know, I think that resource-wise, I think everybody, I tend to be kind of one of those guys that looks at the bright side and an optimist. So what you have, you enhance, and what you don't have, you try to make better. So it's not really comparing and contrasting is not that important to me. This thing did go very fast. That's always hard in our profession. You know, sometimes some jobs I think take months and visits and all that. That's not the way it works in our world. So, you know, with an initial contact with Sean until today, it was a short period of time. I guess that was, what was that, Tuesday? Monday? Monday to today. So it didn't take too long. That's probably good. There's a trust there when you do these kinds of things that's important. So that's what we did.
Yeah, Mike, in building your staff, you had mentioned you've been around some guys that you know and trust. Can you say who you're going to bring with you and who's the identity of some of your assistant coaches at this point?
You know, I'd rather not, and some of them that I intend to bring don't even know it yet. So it would be better if I didn't mention their name. So if we can hold off on that, I don't think it'll be too long before we can announce some guys, but I don't feel comfortable right now.
Mike, you're known for running a pro-style offense. Are you planning to bring that to Nebraska or just evaluate the potential you have and go?
You know, I think that we've kind of run a smorgasbord of offense, but I guess people call it a pro-style because we've huddled and we've gone underneath the center and gotten the ball, actually, for a good bit of it. But we've spent a lot of time through the years in the shotgun, and I'm kind of very interested, according to the ability of the players, to morph into a little bit more of what we could do. I've been excited at looking at that for a bit. We certainly have to establish an identity, and the identity has to be a blend of a system with what the players are, you know, comfortable with and good at. I think that's coaching. You know, you take your talent and you make sure it's the right fit for the system, and you adapt the system as best you can to the team. And of course, quarterbacking is probably the #1 place to look at that, right? So I'm excited about we've had a foundation. We've had really good runners in our program, tailbacks. We've had 4 of them that are on a wall back at Oregon State that gained a total of 16,000 yards. And then we just had a quarterback that broke the Pac-12 career passing record. So we've had that, and we had a receiver last year break the single-season receiving record. So we've had a variety of different ways to do it, and it all depends on who they are as to what we emphasize and go forward. That's probably the biggest deal for me. I haven't got a chance to watch these guys play. I really don't know this team. That's kind of a fun process, but it'll take some time to do that, and then getting the staff together to do that. So there's still quite a few unknowns about system, but yeah, that's what we've done before.
Hey, Mike, have you met with any of the assistants from the previous staff here at Nebraska, and do you plan to interview any of those guys?
Yes, I plan to talk to him. I met with Barney last night for a bit, and it was great. He was very helpful, and I think that, you know, with this staffing, I think it's important to, you know, I think that it's hard for these guys, right? I mean, they're invested here, and they're coaching a game, and so, and I don't know any of them very well, so we'll see if there's a possibility of a blend, but I cannot make any statement or promises about that. And I need to really look at the big picture. But yes, I would love to talk to him, and that's what Barney and I talked about last night.
Coach, 2 years ago you beat Wisconsin in Corvallis when they were ranked 13th. What are your thoughts of playing against teams in the Big Ten Conference?
You know, this whole idea of now being in the Big Ten and coaching in this conference, also was part of the appeal, actually. You know, I love going to different places, stadiums. As we played at Oregon State, we've been down at LSU. We've been back to Penn State. We played in, I don't even know the name of Jerry's World there in Dallas. We've done that. So it'll be, I like that. Just that I love, remember, I used to bug Dee when we were driving through across the country. Let's stop and look at the stadium. And she could not ever understand that, really. But I also think this is a great conference with great history, and it will be interesting and hopefully fun as we win to play these new teams.
Hey, Mike. To say the least, it was quite a surprise for a lot of Nebraskans when you were named coach, and Sean had prefaced his comments with wanting to have Nebraska in position to play for championships. I guess at Oregon State and in the NFL, that wasn't the case for you. What would you tell folks out there about why they should have confidence that you can get it done here?
Well, I think that I'm, first of all, I think that overall, the preparation for football and the ability to recruit and to fit in the talent of our team with what we do will give us a great opportunity to win. What you're always searching for is prepping yourself to win. And we have a couple of times positioned ourselves at Oregon State at the last game of the season. If we won, we were going to the Rose Bowl. So we've been on the brink of that at that place, and I'm very confident with the history and the performance of Nebraska in general in football, coupled with hard work and what we do as coaches, we were searching for that opportunity to win championships.
Hi, Coach. Yesterday, when searching for clips of you in practice, we run across water balloon fights and what have you, a dunk tank, and we also ran across the fact that you open practices not only to the media but to the fans. Are those practices likely to continue here at Nebraska?
Oh, boy, those water balloon fights were not my idea, but I actually like them. You know, we do some stuff. I've got some younger folks that have been in the program will probably come with us that think of kind of just a break in the day during the fall camps for the players. Found them to be, you know, for me in the old days, we wouldn't do that stuff because we'll just take 10 more minutes of practice or 10 more minutes of meetings. But I found it to be a breath of fresh air. I have had, I won't make any commitment to this right now, but we have had open practices at Oregon State. It's smaller than this place, so I usually know most of the people that are watching practice, and I've got a lot of retired coaches that come and sit down with their chair and watch practice for the day, and I've always thought I want to be that guy one day. I want somebody to let me come in and watch practice. But I don't know. You know, I know that it gets a little unwieldy too, and so if there's too many people, then you probably have to shut it down a little bit. But that's been our history.
Hey, Coach, you had a chance to meet with some of the players last night. What was your message to them, and what did you kind of talk about there?
Well, I had fun at the meeting. I saw a group of very attentive young men, and I just visited them a little bit and told them I was just proud to be here, that I know that they're facing a time of uncertainty like I mentioned earlier, and that's not going to go away just because we're talking about it right now. It's going to take some time to get past all that. It all goes with knowledge and then trust as time goes on. So we talked about things like that, and then I was very impressed because they almost one by one, 100 and some guys, I think, it seemed like it, came by one, and we shook hands, and they said who they were and said it was nice to meet me. And that's just a small thing, but I was really impressed by it. It was, you know, from my vantage point, it was a very comfortable meeting, and I hope it was for them, because it is for players like my own back at Oregon State and my own here. It's two different forms of transition, but it creates an uncertainty for them with people that have recruited them, coached them, so they're kind of in this world. So we got to start building that back.
Mike, you mentioned recruiting a little bit back. Have you given much thought or a few minutes yet to the difference, the challenge will be here, and kind of where and how you'll go about things?
It seems like it'll be different, but I'll tell you, in one thing in general, recruiting has really grown for everybody in a national sense. I have, you know, looking at the roster, it seems like there's guys from everywhere here, which has probably been the way it has been historically. But for us, like last year, and I just say this in terms of, you know, we've now had experience. We had a receiver from Knoxville, a lineman from Chicago, a lineman from a little town in northeastern Iowa, a guy from Minnesota, a linebacker from Oklahoma, 2 guys from Texas, 3 guys from Hawaii. So our roots are out there pretty big in recruiting already, and I think that's probably more of the name of the game for everybody these days, because of the access we have now of information and video from all over the country. It's really crazy from just a few years back. Big time difference.
Mike, what generally was your thought process like, if you can kind of take us a little bit through the week after you met or talked on the phone, I assume, was it in person or on the phone with Sean? And you know, when did you warm up to this? Was it right away? And did you take this sight unseen, or had you seen this place at any time recently?
This part, I've seen it on TV. That's how I've seen it. And we talked on Tuesday, and then I met with the chancellor on Wednesday. Spoke on Monday. Tuesday spoke, yes. So things picked up and accelerated into a point of right here. And you know, we had heard enough, and you can see enough if you look on the internet of what a place is like. Not that that's always accurate, but we kind of trusted the situation through the history, and it was pretty easy to do that way. It's a matter really at this point of if you want to do something like that, right? I mean, you're getting to the point, you know, at the stage of my career, it was an opportunity to try something one more time. You know, we've had great experiences. I've enjoyed every one of them that I think have all built to who we are as people, as a family, as a career. So if you're going to do it one more time, this obviously is a great chance to do that at a great place.
Mike, your teams have struggled the last 5 years. I'm curious how you think you've gotten better as a head coach during those struggles. What have you learned about yourself?
That's a great point. I think that one thing that you have to get good at sometimes, because we have actually been pretty cyclical, right, at Oregon State. We were 3-9 one year, 9-3, and so I think what you have to do is you have to, as a staff, as head coach, show some stability to your team in the fact that you can come back and you can do better. It might be the next week, it might end up being the next season, but you've got to be able to do that and teach your players how that works. Lose a game or not have a great season, but have that ability. And then the other thing you have to do is you have to give them concrete stuff as to how it's going to get better. So that's what we've always had to deal with. Hopefully we've gotten better at it as we've gone along. You know, in this sport, you're gonna, even no matter who you are, you're going to have some cycles. So you've got to know how to handle those cycles. Whether it's doing really well and how you handle that, or you're having a rough time, you've got to be able to work with your team, give them concrete evidence about how this is going to get better, and then teach it. So that's, through the years, I would say that that's probably something you always have to have in hand and get better at it, which is always what we're trying to do, find that better way to teach. How are we going to do things? We recruit just like we have recruited while I was at Oregon State, and I'm sure it's the same here. It's all very competitive. So we're trying to get the best players all the time and then coach them the best we can, and we want players that are the right fit as the person with the character that we need in the program. And then you just keep coaching them and teaching them and be ready for good times, hard times, in between, all that.
Mike, as you look to the outside for your staff, what specifically are you looking for, and are Nebraska ties important with that?
I think the most important thing to me is to gain a trust of who this person is in two ways. And it could come from any different source. Nebraska, current staff, the staff I've been with, and whoever else might be out there in the world. But they have to have two qualities. They have to be experts at whatever it is. If it's a linebacker coach, then that's got to be his expertise. He's got to be good at it. And the other thing, he has to be the right guy. He's got to treat people right. And I told the players last night that means more, than what that just says. That has to do with discipline. That has to do with growth. That has to do with a real vision for helping this young man in all the ways. But those two things have to be part of it. Doesn't matter without those two things who this guy is. This is just what we need to get started on the staff. And so we'll have, and then they'll all have, obviously, got to find coordinators. I've always had a full-time special teams coach. That's all he's done. Hasn't coached other positions, so I'm pretty sure we'll do that again.
Hey, Mike. There's four coaches, that have been in Nebraska who are still around, that being Tom Osborne, Frank Solich, Bill Callahan, and Bill Pelini. What have been your experiences with those guys over the years? Do you know any of them, and have you reached out to any of them, or do you plan to reach out to any of them?
Yes, I'd like to reach out to all of them. I actually sit by Frank Solich we are on the AFCA board together. So we've sat next to each other often and talked, and I really like Frank. I appreciate him. I feel like I know Bill Callahan, just kind of followed his football all along and enjoyed that. And the same with Coach Osborne. He doesn't know me, and he wouldn't remember this, but when I was coaching in the Canadian League, got this call, picked up the phone, and the guy says, "Hi, Mike, this is Tom Osborne." And I was sure somebody was pulling a trick on me. But that was my contact with Coach Osborne, and he had called me about a player that he was recommending to our team in the Canadian League. So, but I think that I think that's absolutely great. History of coaches that are here, like I mentioned earlier, and I look forward to getting to know everybody more. Like I haven't been here ever in my life, but I know what kind of a place it is just because I follow it. I know college football, and I know the people that have been involved in the teaching and the coaching here. Know of them.
Coach, you talked about recruiting a little bit. Have you given any thought to this class or been in touch with those kids yet, or kind of what is the plan going forward to try to keep this recruiting class
It's
together?
hitting it right now real hard. In the recruiting area, we've got to go because there's really one more week of where you can do home visits, and then it shuts down for quite a while. So we'll try to do as much as we can in this next week, make a plan for the month of January, and then go forward from there. But we've got to get started with some of that immediately.
Coach Riley, one of the great success stories here at Nebraska has been the walk-on program.
Yeah.
what is your philosophy about walk-ons, and what would be your message to the high school seniors here in Nebraska?
Well, I think that's historically been one of the neat things about Nebraska football, the tradition of so many walk-on players, the contribution they have made to the program, and believe me, I am all for it. I think and I've got personally some of the greatest walk-on stories that if you have time, I'll tell you a couple of them. But it is I think it's great. I think that they add tons to the program. You absolutely need them in the program, I think, to function properly. And so many guys find their niche. You know, if they really, if they fit physically at all and they work hard, they'll find something that they do. I showed up at Oregon State 2003, and there was a walk-on receiver, this is spring practice, that was going to be a sophomore, redshirt sophomore. And he looked okay in spring practice, and then in fall camp he started making some plays, and we had another All-American receiver he was playing behind, so I said, why don't we move this Mike over to the flanker, see if he can win the job. And he did, and he caught like 44 passes for 1,000 yards. So the yards per catch was over the top. Well, that same guy, he had been a walk-on. He got a scholarship after that, but 2 years later he won the Biletnikoff Award as the top receiver in America. In that same year, we had a walk-on kicker that won the Lou Groza Award. And my second year at Oregon State, we had a walk-on quarterback and this was back in an era at Oregon State where they'd had 28 straight years of losing seasons. So we stuck we had a guy that had walked on. I had encouraged him to walk on from Glendora, California. He always moved the team, looked good in practice. And so we were still looking, our second year there, looking for opportunities for quarterbacks, for people to get a chance. And we were fighting to come back and build that program. So I just said, we should let this guy play. Let's put him in. We're going to play Washington. Let's put him in at the start of the second quarter. Well, he didn't get in until midway in the second quarter of that game. And he threw for 469 yards in 2.5 quarters. He was a walk-on quarterback. Nobody knew who he was, and he later led that team, Oregon State team, to the Fiesta Bowl, and he's coaching now. And when I first met him, this is what I like about these stories is when I first met him, he was not being recruited by anybody. And all he wanted to do was find a place where he could go and play football and mostly prepare himself to be a coach. And little did he know, or anybody know, that this guy would become one of Oregon State's all-time greatest quarterbacks. And when he walked in the door, when I wanted to meet him, because I'd seen him on film and thought he threw the ball pretty well, it was just this scrawny little 5'10" kid, and so your first thought is, well, this is not a major college quarterback. But his career was unbelievable. So I'm sorry to take so long, but that's the walk-on deal. I love it. And we've got a walk-on from Oregon State, a walk-on tackle that's still now playing in the NFL. All sorts of good stuff. And I know Nebraska probably has a ton of good stories like that.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you all. It's nice to be here.